According to scientists, all species are connected in one big web. This is not a web with lots of creepy crawlies, but a web connected by energy, called a food web. The potato's role in one of these webs is always producer. A producer is an organism that creates its own food using the energy from the sun in a process called photosynthesis. First, CO2, made of one carbon molecule and two oxygen molecules, enters through the stomata, small openings in the leaves. Then, water, or H2O, made of two hydrogen molecules and one oxygen molecule, enters through the roots. And finally, inside the plant cells, chloroplasts mix these together with a pinch of energy from the sun and BAM! Glucose! The chloroplasts should have their own cooking show. Plants put the glucose molecules into long chains called cellulose. They then use this to make new plants. But being a potato plant isn't as easy as you might think. You have to worry about things that are going to eat you, like the potato beetle. These pests feed on potato leaves and stems, and besides just eating potato plants, they can also transmit diseases such as root rot and spindle tuber, which are bad news for the potatoes. This is called parasitism, where one species gains by harming another species. But this is not the case with humans. Potatoes and humans have something called mutualism, where both species gain something from each other. The potato plant gets spread around the world and gets planted, and humans get a good food source.
Potato plants are one of the most important foods we have on planet Earth. More than 1 billion people all around the world eat potatoes. Potato plants have a lot of important adaptations. One of the most important adaptations is that when you plant a potato in the ground, it actually turns into a food reserve, which then, when the plant goes through photosynthesis, it can store all of the energy into the food reserve, which is called the tuber. Another extremely important adaptation is that potatoes can grow anywhere that is 55 degrees at day and 75 degrees at night, because they can adapt to any soil. When potatoes are in the wild, they actually grow from seeds. But when they are being grown by humans, they get cut in half and planted in the ground. Potatoes are part of the vegetable family, but technically it's part of the nightshade family, which means it's related to tobacco.
And also, potatoes are good for you, and they taste really good.
Have you ever wondered what potatoes really are? Not just the physical adaptations, but what they really are. Well, let's jump into it. First off, we will start with some slight history. Potatoes actually come from, and naturally grow, from the Andes Mountains in Peru. Now we will try and take in the Irish potato famine. Well, the Irish potato famine was caused by Lake Bluff. Wait, what's the Irish potato famine, I hear you asking? Well, it's kind of straightforward, let's be honest. But it did help us learn a lot. For example, if you only grow russet Burbanks, a type of potato, and a fungi goes around that targets the russet Burbanks, all of the russet Burbanks die. So we can't eat them, and we also die from starvation. So it's very important to grow a variety of different things, not just one type of potato. This is what happened with Irish potato famine. But anyway, after all, variety is the spice of life. They only grew the lumber potato, and late blight came around and wiped them out. I mean, completely out. Late blight is actually kind of fungi that damages the plant attacked. This caused more than 1 million people to die. People died from not having the lumber potato and not being able to eat it. The lumber potato was a really, really big food source for them. This taught us about how we need to grow a variety of different things, not just one type of thing. It doesn't have to be potatoes or corn, anything like that. Oh, well, that's just history. But potatoes were and still judged to be one of the most non-cereal crops in the world. Now let's travel back to the present day. More than 1 billion, yes, 1 billion people eat potatoes all around the world. Now that the potatoes are widespread, more than 120 countries, that's a lot, grow potatoes. Okay, now we got it. this is a bit more important. GMOs. Have you heard of them? You probably have on food labels saying non-GMOs. Have you ever thought of what those were? No? Well, I didn't either until I did a bit more research. GMOs are plant or animal products that have been re-engineered in a lab. They stand for genetically modified organisms. Took me a while to figure that out, didn't it? So that's probably why it's such a big thing when a product, not just food, or any type of product really, doesn't have GMOs. So what scientists do is they change the product by using DNA of bacteria, viruses, or plants and animals to genetically modify these organisms. The purpose of these is to make sure that, especially for potatoes, that the seeds yield more crops. Some people say that potatoes will have less bruising and have a longer shelf life. Sadly, even though these are helpful in some ways, these chemicals are believed to cause certain types of cancers. Well, that's all for my section. I really hope you enjoyed learning about potatoes and some slight history about them. Now I'm probably gonna go eat a potato. Let's be honest. We all do.
Thank you for watching and learning about potatoes. Goodbye!